Welcome, everybody, to Business, the Art of Winning. I've got a special guest today. Francesca Moi is the CEO, founder of Powering Events, creator of the Mafia Academy, host of Business Behind the Scenes podcast, best-selling author, Invisible to Invincible. Follow me, shut up, and build your network and bums on seat. That's a lot, right, Francesca? And look, today's topic for my audience is all about market, and that is be seen, not forgotten. And Francesca, you're a bit of a master around that topic of be seen and not forgotten. Do you want to introduce yourself? I just did a little bit of a job on introducing you, but how about it might come better from you?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you so much, first and foremost, for having me here. I love participating to interviews and podcasts, and especially anything that is collaboration with the one and only William Farmer. I'm always happy to participate. So thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Great to have you on board. So our topic has been Business, the Art of Winning, and today's about marketing, sponsored by our Dale Carnegie program, and that's here in Brisbane. So join us on that class. You're a graduate of the Dale Carnegie programs, Francesca.
Absolutely, and I love them. I bring all my team along. I'm a big believer that our business, our life is a 3D printout of our thoughts. So always working on growing, and mindset is always the best for us to really become the best leader that we can be. And there's no better trainer than definitely you guys here in Brisbane and Dale Carnegie for sure.
Oh, thank you. And, your book, which is, Invisible to Invincible, which is really a little bit of a theme around your culture, what you try to achieve with your tribe, and helping, especially, your smaller businesses be seen. And obviously you've got medium clients and bigger clients as well. Do you want to just talk a little bit about the philosophy around what you wrote?
Yeah, well,
you wrote it?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I started my business about 7 years ago as a simple life coach. I thought I just wanted to have some clients, and if I could just replace my full-time job with some life coaching one-on-one, I would have been happy, like so happy. And then what happened is that when I failed big time, in 9 months, I got literally one client and they paid me $120. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I thought it was going to be the end. I was going to go back to a job and, just be a miserable me. And then I thought, you know what? I didn't really have a full go. I just tried, but really not that much. So I started to put myself out there. I started to be active on Facebook. I started a Facebook group. I started a meetup group community, and I started to run simple events to meet people like-minded. And honestly, my business exploded from there. I started to get fully booked one-on-one. And then other coaches in Brisbane were asking, how did you do it? And I'm like, I just started a meetup group and a Facebook group, and I'm just active on social media a little bit here and then, and that's it. And it was just incredible how everybody started to ask for a course for me to teach them. And so I created this just a simple 2-day workshop. And from there, this academy was created. And it's just been an incredible, literally sometimes I stop and I look back and I'm like, wow, what a journey from not having no idea about business and marketing, anything of that, to be able to build a $1 million business without even just one step forward, one step at a time, without knowing where I was going to go. But just taking that leap of faith. That's a bit of the story on how I got here.
Yeah. So my audience is, similar. They're entrepreneurs wanting to advance their business, what I call, adolescence, maybe to maturity if they're a more mature business, or if they're a startup, infancy to just get to adolescence, which we know is probably the hardest part of any business. It's definitely hard. I'm a father of 5 kids. And so, that baby stage, just please grow up now, it's tough. And so when you think about, because you're working with that, those entrepreneurs who are full of enthusiasm, they've probably got a great product, maybe something that adds value for others, but they just aren't known. Well, what's your immediate advice to your audience about being known and why it's so important?
So the first thing that I say to my clients when they join me, I said, look, the first step is to stop assuming that the business would just all of a sudden grow. Like we've got to grow it. Like it's like if you plant a seed in the garden and you never put any water in it, it's never going to grow. It's never going to become a plant. It's going to just stay there and die. And so it's like this, everything in business is like, okay, you have a product, you have an idea, you have a expertise. We need to tell the world about it. We need to be loud. We need to be telling everybody. And when I say loud, it doesn't mean that we have to change who we are. If you're a shy person or introvert, you don't have to change who you are, but you need to let people know, right? We need to put ourselves out there and start to slowly bringing our word out there. We need to start to speak up. We need to start to share. We need to start to add value. We need to start to create some sort of community around us to be able to start to have an audience to listen to what we have to say.
Yeah. And also you deal with mindset in regards to the mindset of someone starting out. What are some of the advice that you've given some of the many people that you've had in your own programs?
Yeah, well, this is where I wrote the Invisible to Invincible book, is to really help business owners to see that we all been invisible and we all, have a strategy to go how to go to invincible. But the first number one thing that stops us from going from invisible to invincible is our mindset. It's really like going, okay, nobody knows about you, and the reason why most likely is because we're afraid of showing up on social media, because we're afraid of other people judging us, or we're afraid of making a mistake. We're some sort of perfectionist, and so there is all those blockages that usually start from the brain, and that's why we don't put ourselves out there. And so it's very important that we look at first of all, most being honest with ourselves and tell ourselves the truth. I have lots of people that come to me like, I'm not afraid. No, I'm not afraid, Francesca. I'm like, okay, so why are you not posting? Oh, I just don't want people to judge me. I'm like, okay, so you're afraid of people judging you.
Oh, yeah, it's one of the hardest things to overcome, right?
Right, to even admit, right? The moment that you admit that you're afraid, then we can actually work on it. Then we can actually have the awareness and find the solution. But if we pretend not to be afraid, we pretend that I'm good, then we're never gonna really be able to get there, because we're always gonna find other reasons, other excuses why we're not doing lives. Not because we don't have time. We all have time to go live on Facebook, right?
Yeah, so look, some of the generation that I work with are X generations. They're not really big into selfies, posting, and things like that. What advice would you give to that generation that really don't understand why social media is such an important branding tool?
Yeah. So obviously we have a support to our clients. We do find and train virtual assistants for our clients. We are starting empowering virtual solutions where we help other people that are not my clients to also do that, which is can help. But the problem to the solution to the problem of not posting is not really getting someone else to post for us, because they don't know our content, they're not the experts. So we still need to come up with content. We still need to show up on social media, and then the virtual assistant can help us enhance that. They can showcase that, they can put that times 10, but we need to be really brave enough to put ourselves out there. So a lot of the clients that I have are also in that generation, and so we usually say to them, it's like at our before Facebook, we used to go networking, right? We used to go out there into an event or into a chamber of commerce, something like that, where we go there and we meet people and we talk about our business. And the more people we tell about our business, the more the business will start to grow. And that's exactly the same. It's literally no different to that. The only thing that now is a virtual social networking, right? It's social media, which means is networking space. It's free. We have access to that every single day. And we just put it out there.
Yeah. So when you're looking at setting up a strategy, especially around social media to be seen, what's the first steps that you would advise a client?
The first thing that I would suggest is to start to really post as often as you can. I wouldn't say to post every day if someone has never posted, because they're going to burn out and never do it again, right? So it's like if you have never posted anything, maybe start to two times a week, right? Post something in your personal profile and start to friend people, start to expand your network on social media, start to have a mini conversation with people, which is, yes, can be time consuming. And I usually suggest to people to have in the calendar 3 times a day. About 20 minutes. So 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in a lunch, and then 20 minutes before they finish for the day. And those 20 minutes, just go and reply to the comments or reply to friendships and start conversation with people so that we can start to build relationship with this audience. So it's not like we're talking to Facebook. There's 2.8 billion active users every month. We're talking to specific people, the humans behind this platform, right? So we started to really talk to as many people as possible, embrace, chat with them. And so really like creating a relationship. And it's not about selling to them. It's about creating a relationship, understanding more about them, ask them.
So creating a community.
And it can be a great way for us to really like start a little bit of like a marketing research, right? We go like, now I know that, what people pain is. I know what people are craving. I know what people are missing out. I know people what they're looking for. And that really can help us to understand what type of message we should put out there on social media.
Right. Okay. And so there's definitely a strategy to using Facebook. And also, I know that you use Instagram really, really well. You use LinkedIn really, really well. How does a new person trying to brand themselves know which way to go?
Yeah. So I always say pick one platform. It really doesn't matter which platform. If you ask me, I would say let's start Facebook, because on Facebook there is multiple options. There is Facebook personal profile, but Facebook groups are very strong as well. Instead, LinkedIn and Instagram don't have that option, so it's a lot harder to build a community, to build something that you own. Instagram and LinkedIn could close you down, shut you down anytime, and you lose everything. Rather than Facebook, you can have a group where you can put different admins in the group. So if touch wood, your personal profile gets shut down, your group won't die. Someone else that you've put as an admin can continue the group. You can start another profile, and that group of 11,000 people that I have, I'm never going to lose, because it's very safe, very protected. So for me, Facebook is the number one place to start. I say don't spread yourself too thin, because then we start to go, I need to post in 20 places. You get overwhelmed. I say start with Facebook, monetize Facebook, get really a lot of engagement on Facebook. And once we've done that and done that properly and seriously, that's when we can start to expand to another space.
Yeah. Where do you think social media is going? Zuckerberg talked about Meta, and you're right. It's about the different streams. Which is your audience? What's my product, my service? And, who's reading my story? What are your thoughts around just where social media is going?
It is looking like that everybody's craving community and connections and like-mindedness. So I feel that Facebook started something really, really smart years ago with their community, with their groups. And I feel that groups are going to be the future. So if someone doesn't have a group now, I feel that is the time to start. And it's really important to have that leadership space that you sort of like, it's like a piece of real estate on social media, right? You have your group, you own it now, and that is going to be a very valuable space to be, because social media, that's where it's going. I feel that that's everything it is about community, about a connection, real connections. And so I feel that that's where I'm very happy that we have started early, and you have that too. You have an amazing group on social media as well. And that's where I think the future is going.
You're the one who made me. And Francesca was my coach on social media. And I didn't really want to use my personal page in the way I've used it. I really didn't understand the strategy. But we've been following your strategy for many years now.
You've been very consistent.
Yeah. And it's been very helpful. Our profile's increased. Our average seminar is 80 people online, 120, 150. And I calculated we did 3,000 people last year in different workshops and seminars.
Wow, well done.
That's a lot of your strategy, a lot of components around that. Yeah.
I love it. Well done. That's amazing. Good to hear.
I'm just letting people know that it does work. But what advice would you give someone who's looking at a strategy like yours, so that once they start, they can, follow through and complete?
Yeah. So this is the biggest thing this is why I said you've been very consistent, because the only results are going to see if you are consistent. If you post on social media for 2 months and you stop, probably you get nothing from it, right? So if we start to be consistent on it, we start to show up, we start to get engagement. The more engagement we get, the more people are seeing our stuff, the more we're going to start to get results. So one of the biggest thing is that people are judging the audience. They go like, oh, wait, I'm not getting any comments whatsoever. I'm getting nothing at all. I need to stop. This is not working. We need to remember that a lot of people are busy and they're seeing things. They might not comment on it. They might not engage on it, but they're seeing it. And how we know that if they're actually seeing it is that sometimes we put something quite personal or quite vulnerable that will move the room, they move the people, and you see they will show up. They will now post. They will now comment. And so that's when you know that people are still reading, but they're choosing where to spend the energy in, because people are busy nowadays, right? So one of the biggest suggestion to anybody that is wanted to start out on social media is make it a priority. Make it like you have to show up. You have to do it. Even if nobody is looking, even nobody is answering, even nobody is commenting, just keep it coming, because you will elevate yourself as an expert and as a public influence in there.
And it's not what you know, it's who wants to know you, right? And that's creating that law of attraction. Look, as a young entrepreneur, what advice would you give people who are wanting to, either run a contract, actually set up a small business, have aspirations of monetizing online or a traditional type of business? What advice would you give them?
Look, the biggest thing that people do is that they think, oh, I need to go and create this amazing website. And once I have this website, I will be good and I'll be done. And I don't believe that that's the first step for anybody. I feel that websites are quite expensive and quite difficult to create. And I would put that last, like I've done my website after I had clients. I've done my website after I had an audience. There's lots of different platforms nowadays that you can use to advertise your business, and you don't need to have a website. So the first thing that I would do is to choose what method you want to use. So you want to work with people one-on-one, you want to work with people in a group, what is that you want to do, and you want to be a coach, you want to be product based, what do you want to do, and then stick with that one product. So choose one product and let's sell that, and then get fully booked in that, and let's get like you can't handle anything else with that. And once we go with that, then we learn on how we're going to scale it. What do we need to do in order to move to save time and making the same amount of money? And so that's the how we're going to get there. But a lot of people, what they do is that they try one product for 5 minutes, and then they change it to another product for 5 minutes, and then they change it to another thing. Oh, maybe I should do that. Look, those people are doing that.
Just on the cusp of winning, and they let it go.
Shiny object syndrome, and they don't get any results. And that's such a pity, because that's what they say. Most people, most businesses fail in the first 5 years.
Look, it's 80% of businesses fail in the first 5 years. In the second 5 years, it's like 60. So your law of averages is it's a challenge. So I've been talking to a lot of business owners who have been going through COVID, and so there are challenges outside of the normal forces. And I take my hats off to them, because just to be resilient, adapt, look at ways of doing different things. It's absolutely essential to business, the art of winning. And I always I titled the podcast Business, the Art of Winning, but it's just life, right? And I look at life like a business. It's either efficient or not efficient. It's either giving you high returns or no returns. It's either something that you just wake up and want to be exhilarated to, or something that you just go, please let this be over. Where's my Prozac? And so that's it. It's life, the art of winning. And
there's so many days that I wanted to give up. Still nowadays, sometimes after COVID, it's been such a challenge at times. And you're like, oh my gosh, is this ever going to end? And I think we'll be crazy if we think that it's ever going to end, because even if it would end, we will find something else to make it challenging. We will find another product, another business, anything else to do, because that's the type of people we are. We are business owners. We love the risk. We love being on the edge. We love getting out of our comfort zone. So even if we crave that certainty and that security, we do love the excitement of not knowing, right?
The creative energy. I call it like you're jumping on the back of a large tiger. It's exhilarating. It's fun. Just don't get off. Tiger's gonna bite you. Yeah.
And sometimes you will get off, right? Even if you don't want to.
Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Okay. Run. And but I love business. I enjoy my customers, my clients. It's always fun when they say, oh, I saw your YouTube video. You're very different from that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Am I? That's good.
Okay. Is that a compliment? I don't know.
But again, it's not what you know, it's who wants to know you. And that's it. Like so much more now we can build trust on our posts. We can build trust on being honest. We can be, on a social media post. We can do YouTube, we can do Instagram, and all these, they reckon 16 points, is it? 16 points now before people start to anchor in a relationship with you. And so this is all part of the new reality. And
absolutely.
What do you see in your space? Because you're like the mafia queen, right? In your space. What are you seeing? What are the trends?
Well, the thing is, now there is a big trend that is going now is a little bit of the reels on Instagram. I don't know if you heard of them. They're like a mini video of like 30 seconds.
Competing with TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's definitely competing with TikTok because TikTok was taking over, but now the reels are really working very well. I'm surprised that Facebook hasn't caught up with them yet, but I'm sure that they're going to move them across as well, or they might not. But reels is a new thing, which is really fascinating because it's showing people fun side. And that's what people want to see, right? Someone wants to buy from someone. They want to fall in love with the person behind the product. They want to know that it's someone fun and genuine and someone that they resonate with and that they got the same amount of values. So there is lots of fun TikTok that I've been doing about all the crazy things that are happening in the world, about, how difficult business is lately. And it's just like hilarious.
So you've been doing reels. You have been doing them. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. I've been having lots of fun because it sort of showcases the reality of what's happening in your business every day. You were like, you think that it's all rosy, but this is what's happening behind. And it's just so much fun. And it brings people, like I have so many people messaging me going, I'm resonating with your content lately. I'm loving your energy. I love your fun again. And I'm like, okay, good. This is my energy coming out again for people. And they love to see that.
Yeah. So vulnerability is a leadership strength, right?
Yeah.
But obviously you got to be at the right. It's got to be part of an intention.
Being vulnerable to just being like, negative and upset with the world doesn't help and doesn't serve anybody. So sharing something vulnerable with always an upside to it. And so always going, this happened to me and I'm human and I also make mistakes. So I also fail. I shared a post yesterday of like a failure that we had lately in business. And I said, it happens and it happens to us as well. But the thing is how you react to it. What are you going to do with that failure that is going to define the way the business is going to go? And I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I've got plenty of time that I want to give up, and you're the person that I call when I want to give up. I'm like, William, and I have a bit of a cry or whatever it is, and then you just pick yourself up again, right? And go like, all right, I had my little whinge. Let's go.
Hey, look, if you're going to go into business, if you're going to go into anything that requires risk, growth, you're going to fall down. Just don't fall down, fall forward. And
sure.
fall forward. If you're going to fall forward. And,
you're gonna fall anyway, right? Might as well do that.
Hey, it's been great talking to you, Francesca. I know you invest a lot in your own professional development. You've worked with Carnegie now for nearly 4 years, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And we've worked together. I've invested in your product as well. I know you're a great fan of Anthony Robbins, who's a Dale Carnegie graduate. He did the program in his early 20s. What advice would you give around professional development?
Yeah. So for sure, I would suggest anybody that hasn't done any type of personal development to do some. And I feel that obviously Dale Carnegie was a great place for me to really get my team in it. And I had some team members that had done no personal development whatsoever before, and they loved it. And I had team members that were already very advanced in the personal development journey. They also loved it. So I love the fact on how it brings these personal development. Sometimes people think that it's very like hairy fairy or whatever, into very pragmatic and simple steps on how you can implement it in every day and in business. And so I really, really, really love that about Dale Carnegie. It was great to meet other businesses as well, and actually very good connections for me and for my team as well. It was also very good for my team to see that I'm like a bloody good boss, because it's like other businesses, right? And other people talking to each other, they're like, oh my gosh, you party at work? What is going on? So I was like, very good for me to have that as well. So so definitely I would say that, you know, whatever personal development they resonate with, whatever course they resonate with, is something that I 1,000,000% would do. I always do something to grow myself out of my comfort zone. Tomorrow I'm going to another ice bath. Have you seen that I've gone into this new thing?
Oh, have you done
I'm doing ice. Yeah, I've done it twice, and tomorrow is my third.
How many minutes?
3 minutes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
What was it like?
It's amazing. It's like the best experience ever. So just so everybody knows, I'm someone that if I go to the ocean, I can't go to the water if it's cold. I will never have a cold shower, not even if you pay me, right? Still now. But the ice bath experience is just completely something completely different. So you do a little breath work. So they teach you how to breathe in trauma, which is really good, by the way, for stress, which, as you know, I've been quite stressed lately. So I was like, so good for the stress relief hormone, which is good. And then they count you down, and you just walk in and you just go inside of the ice. And at first you just feel like, this is stupid. Why am I doing this to myself? And then you just start to breathe and keep they coach you through it, and you breathe in, and then everything comes down. It's like everything stops, and you're just present with yourself, and there's nowhere else to do, and there's nothing to go, there's nowhere to be, and everything stops. It's literally like the most peaceful thing I have done in my life.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I've been watching that too. The Iceman, and that story is pretty amazing too.
Right.
Yeah. It's incredible. That's something for William to consider.
Come next time.
Reels on William the Iceman.
Come along next time. So in May, I'm going to a 5-day retreat on that. So when I say about so every day we're going to do like 5 days. Every day we're going to do a different level of ice bath and see how much.
What are you trying to get to?
I just want to. I don't think it's about the time. It's about the presence. Like I want to get to a point that I can have that feeling even without going to the ice bath.
Nice.
So I want to really learn that in my life, because obviously, you know, business is stressful, right? So I don't want to go like, everybody, wait a second, let me go to an ice bath and I come back.
But you know, like stress is like I've spoken about it on our podcast. It is big, right? And I've seen more stress now than I've ever seen in my entire business career. In fact, I'm writing a few programs at the moment, my partner and I, because we see it so much in regards, or she's a trained psychologist, so it'll be more around what she's doing, helping her clients handle stress. But how do you cope? Besides the ice bath, how do you cope with stress and worry?
Look, how do I cope? I sometimes wonder that myself. I look back and I go, geez, why did I do all of this, right? So first and foremost, I have people around me like you. I've got mentors. I've got coaches that really help me to look at my situation without the emotional side that I obviously put in. And it's like, okay, that's happened. So what? So let's talk about it. Let's find a solution and just not, stay in it. So my coping to me is personal development, is surrounding myself with the right people that can help me, is meditating every day. I've been very good. I don't think I've stopped meditating for literally years. Like it's just become a routine for me. I wake up and then that's the first thing that I do. The few times that I've stopped, you can tell, you can really tell where I've stopped. So meditation is one of my coping mechanism. Exercise and eating healthy is really something else that I'm very passionate about. And I do with just part of me. If I don't do that, I'll really suffer as well. So I think that coping is about being real and just trying to do everything that we can. The other night, I was having a bit of a tough moment. I was a bit stressed about an event coming up, and I was like, what am I going to do? I just put on Latin music, and there I was dancing salsa in my house. Salsa dancing by myself. I was like, yeah.
She's a great salsa dancer, by the way. Fantastic.
Thank you. It's just so much fun, right? You gotta find things that spark that light, that aliveness in us, and do them as often as we can, right?
Yeah. Like in these times of great change, right? And it's the resistance or the attachment that really creates pain. And pain is an indicator of you might want to try something different here. You might want to move or adjust. And sometimes some of us, we really do like a lot of pain before we move. And I was brought up in a very cold climate where I'm a bit slow at learning because a lot of my lessons to be forged in pain. And
I must be grown up in a cold place too, because I'm pretty slow learning too.
So remember, the body is its own intelligence. It's going to let you know what's going on. And disease is dis-ease. I'm feeling not in myself. I'm not in my flow or the zone. Wake up and pay attention. And those are some of the indicators that can really help us handle stress, like the bath freezes. It stops all senses and allows you just to be in that wonderful presence. I'm always amazed by the human spirit.
Right.
Unbelievably amazed. And your spirit, Francesca, both of us are like that. We'll go, and then next we're up. Next.
And then there's the next level.
Next level.
And I've always wondered, do we have to go through that pain to go through the next level? Can I just learn to go to the next level without go through pain? Probably not, right?
Look, honestly, I just think it's done until it's done. The answer is no, you don't. There is a portal, like a wormhole where you can get through the universe a little faster.
And I mean, there is an option not to feel pain, which is stay stagnant, and that's not who we are. That's for sure, right? And so we just always choose to grow and to change. And one of the things that one of my coaches said all the time is whatever got you here, it's definitely not going to get you there. So you got to let go, right? And it's I don't want to. Everything worked and it was so perfect and it was so easy. I don't want to change it all. But guess what? That's the answer. Change it all.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, how does anybody get in contact with you, Francesca? How do they find you? Find out what you do? So come along into Facebook, join the workshop Secret for Coaches if you are a coach. And if you're not, just follow me on my page in Facebook, Francesca Moi, without the H. And you got your own podcast too, right?
Yes. Business behind the scene. I've done my 100th episode where we interviewed you. So definitely go and listen episode number 100 to learn from William. And it's been an incredible journey. And everybody, if I did it with this accent and nobody that I knew in Australia, everybody can. Yeah, there are no excuses. It is about that mindset. My audience, thank you to those who listen to our podcast. We've got a big followership now throughout the world. Hey, the business, the art of winning is all about you. This has been my special guest and special friend, Francesca Moi. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you so much for having me. And to my audience, go out there and put into practice some of those techniques about being seen. Okay, start doing some posts. It's okay. Don't worry about what other people think of you. The ones that criticize you are jealous anyway. So until next time, we'll see you soon.